friends with her anymore, which is sick. You know, if you don't want to be friends with somebody, leave them alone, but don't murder them.
What do you want to say to these two girls?
Rotten hell. How's that? Because that's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to go through the pain and agony my daughter.
Welcome back to True Crime and Wine. Welcome back. Hope you have your wine glasses ready, your blunts rolled, and a throw blanket wrapped around you, because this story is fucked up. But before we get into the fucked upness of it all, I want to say that last week we had some vlogs on our Wave channel, and yeah, I think that you should go ahead and subscribe to our Wave. Oh boy. ridethewave.com/thevictortwins/post. I'm just gonna insert a little montage of clips from some of the vlogs so you can get an idea and then get jealous that you didn't see the vlogs if you're not already subscribed. So here we go.
I can't.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
The Victors are safe, folks. We're safe. There's only 2 of us here. It's like we sent her mom and Gabby and myself away. We sent them away. It's just us 2. We just don't trust them.
Gabby actually didn't want to hang out with us. She never wants to hang out with me and Dad. I don't know what it is. We're filming. She's like, okay.
She's going through something.
She didn't even want to come down when we were filming. She's like, I'll be up here till it's done. I'm like, okay.
She's going through something, folks. So send your best out to Gabby. Wish her love. Happiness.
We are praying for you.
We're praying for you, Gabby.
That's what we feeling right now, big pimpin'. Look at these paws. Big pimpin', sleepin' Z's. Ooh, your little babies. Oh, wow. Looking real good. Looking fantastic. Yes, queen. All right here feels super congested. I have like a little, it's not that I have a headache, it just feels like pressure kind of. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it. And I'm just lethargic as fuck. Like, just so tired. Sleepy, 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 sleepy. So I'm gonna try to go to bed early. It's already 9:30 and I got some shit to do before I go to bed, so early to me would be like 1 a.m. Show off the amazing job that Jackie did on the food. Yeah! Christmas Eve dinner. We got some steak.
Christmas Eve in the house.
We got some lobster.
Christmas Eve in the house.
We got some pasta.
Christmas Eve in the house.
Ooh, we got salad. We got lobster bisque, which I'm not touching, and we got lasagna. Yummy, 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 yummy.
Christmas Eve in the house.
Water.
Zachary!
Okay, okay. Yes. So we got the cute ruffly shorts. Oh, the shorts say bye. Yeah, but but it goes at the top. It goes at the top. Hold on. Someone cares, just not me. Is that not you? Yeah. Guys, is that not Danny? It's like Danny's
Someone cares, just not me, and then turn around and say bye.
Bye.
Actually, I have to take a picture of me.
Danny, you just took like a half hour to do whatever you did. There you go.
Gabby, I told you to switch the battery. It's dying.
Whatever could this be?
I don't know, Dad. What could it be?
I'm going to my surprise, it is a cologne.
Legend by Mont Blanc Spirits.
And I shall be a legend once I spread this upon my body. Wow, this is a sweatshirt?
Yeah, okay. Definitely a sister. I need a new butt. His butt crack is always showing. Just like yours. Enjoyed our week late Christmas videos. Hope you enjoyed them. We still have like some nightly vlogs too. But anyways, we're going to rewatch and react to last year's New Year's resolutions that Danny had put on her YouTube channel.
It's been private
to
for a while.
see how much has changed, and let's get...
I mean, I really don't think 2020 was that bad, y'all. Pandemic or not.
Yeah, I think I stayed home anyway, so it's not like my life really fucking drastically changed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely realized a lot about people in 2020.
Yeah.
And I realized a lot about myself. Even watching that back, I'm like, I look tired in that.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I
world
look
kind of
sad.
Yeah, and I looked sad too.
Yeah,
There's
like,
something
I'm
behind my eyes, and it's like, ew.
Yeah, like that doesn't even look like me. And I'm like... Today I am covering the case of Skylar Neese. Now I got about 20, no joke, 20 goddamn emails requesting this case. For anyone that's not familiar with the case, Skylar got killed by her 2 best friends. Lord. This is a reminder why I'm totally cool having no friends. Especially girlfriends. I'm fucking good with you bitches. You can't trust anyone. Especially something with a vagina. Can't trust anything with a dick either. So I was like, oh, I can't have girlfriends or guy friends. Just no friends at all. I'm completely fine. And after researching the story and touching up on the story, because I do remember this story, it reminds me that being alone is quite alright. Honestly, I think of like how many people I've like had in my life who had like the characteristics. This is so far away. Come closer. Come closer, darling. Had the characteristics of Skylar's best friends that killed her. And I'm like, damn, they could have killed me too. I'm not even kidding. So many people that have shared a bed with me, been in my apartment or my house back home where my family lives, that are literally give me psychotic vibes. Narcissistic. I just totally fucked up that word. Narcissistic, sociopathic vibes. So yeah, this story definitely sent chills up and down my spine. Really hit home because I feel like this story reminds me of people that I've been around. People that could have potentially hurt me if I didn't open my eyes at that very moment and been like, you know what? You probably shouldn't be in my life. So you're gonna go ahead and not be in it. So, anyone at home thinking, you know, your best friend is your best friend, are you sure about that? Are you sure? When she's laying up in bed, after you guys share a bottle of Pinot Grigio or Sauvignon Blanc, and you tell her all your deep, dark secrets about this boy that broke your heart, is she not planning on him? Is she not planning on you up? I don't know. I just don't be trusting no bitch. I just don't. And after this story, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm so good. I'm so good. Skylar's parents, Dave and Mary, settled down in a little place called Morgantown, Virginia. Morgantown was small. It's like one of those places where everyone knows everyone. Like, ooh, did you hear about Bobby? Did you hear about his son? That type of town. Dave worked at a Walmart. I believe he was a manager. And Mary, her mother, worked at a medical office. And I believe they had an apartment in a small little city called Star City, which is weird because if you live in like a city, if they live in Morgantown, how do they also live in Star City? I don't know, I don't really get it, but they're from Virginia, a small little place in Virginia. And they worked and they lived every day to please their only child, Skylar. Skylar was the light of their lives. She was pretty much what brought them happiness day in and day out. And she was a daddy's girl. Her dad absolutely adored her. And it reminds me of my relationship with me and my dad, because I feel like me and Gabby are daddy's girls. It's a real thing, you guys. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's a real thing. Because even when my dad was broke and had absolutely no money,
and we didn't even know he had no money. Anytime we needed something or wanted something, he would figure out a way for us to get it. So I feel like when I'm reading on Skylar and her family, her father did everything he could to make sure Skylar had a good life and was happy and was spoiled and was surrounded with nothing but love. When Skylar was 8 years old, she met Sheila Eddy. They became best friends, they were inseparable, had an unbreakable bond. In an interview with ABC, Dave and Mary, Skylar's parents, said that they would spend every moment together, and every moment they weren't together, they'd be on the phone with each other. They considered Sheila to be a part of the family, another daughter. They had a 24-hour friendship, which is kind of unhealthy to me. Even if you're in a married relationship or a serious relationship or even in a friendship, I feel like people need space, and to be with each other all the time, and then when you're not with each other, be talking to each other all the time, that's just heading down the road of not being healthy. And at 8 years old, they started down this path of heading into the direction of a toxic relationship, and in this case, a toxic friendship. Everyone describes Skylar as being bubbly, had lots of personality, outgoing. She was very loyal, especially to her friends. She was devoted to her family. She carried a GPA of 4.0, which, let me tell you, is hard to do. And she also maintained a part-time job at Wendy's, and she was diligent. She showed up on time, never called out of work. She was pretty much an overall good kid. When Skylar and Sheila head to freshman year at University High School, they meet and become friends with Rachel Schoaf. So this little duo has now become a trio. And we all know that ain't nobody on this planet like to be the third wheel. So at some point, this duo was gonna have someone in the trio feel like the third wheel. And once someone feels like a third wheel, fights start to happen and people start to get pissed. We're heading down a toxic road, folks. What the? That's why you always gotta have at least like five people in the group, or like an even number. So it's like 2, 2, 2, and 2. Like if these three hang out with each other, then you three can hang out with each other. And I just don't miss that shit. That same shit happened to me in high school and in middle school when I was hanging out with all these white girls. They would like tell me they weren't going to football games, and I was like, okay, I'll go to the football game by myself. And then I'd go to the football game and all of them would be at the football game, and I know they pre-games without me, and I'm like, yo, these bitches. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to have no friends, so I'm not gonna say nothing. And then before you know it, 20 years pass and you're like, I can't believe I was ever friends with those bitches. I never think of those bitches. High school was just whatever, middle school was just whatever. But yeah, being in any type of friendship where there's multiple personalities and multiple females involved, there's gonna be drama. Females are dramatic to begin with. So when the group is really small, 3 people, there is definitely gonna be drama. I just didn't think that drama would come at 16 years old, because 16 is very young. 16, we're still carefree, trying to figure out ourselves. We don't even know who we are yet. We don't even know what we're doing. We're barely just beginning to drive. It's just... it's tough. Middle school, high school, all this shit is tough, especially if you have like a small group of friends and then your friends start treating you like shit and then you got nobody. But anyone watching this, if that's happening to you, you're gonna make it, kid. Shit ain't gonna matter in 5-10 years. You're gonna look back and be like, what a joke. Hang tight. You got this. While Skylar parents were still together and did anything and everything for her to succeed in life, Rachel and Sheila bonded over the fact that they both came from broken homes. Now, I don't really know much about their home life, but I know that both of their parents were divorced. Sheila was a wild card. She liked to do shit, break the rules, come home late, smoke weed, do whatever that Sheila wanted to do. Rachel came from a strict Catholic family with a strict household with stricter rules. Not as strict as Skylar, but stricter rules than Sheila. And she admired and was jealous at how Sheila had an attitude of, I don't give a f***, I'm gonna do whatever the f*** I wanna do. And Rachel wanted to be more like that. She was like, I don't wanna give a f***, and I wanna do whatever I wanna do. And so at some point in their little
threesome, Rachel and Sheila began to grow closer. And Skylar started feeling a little bit more left out. See, I don't know what was going on in the homes, but Rachel and Sheila could go out more and sneak out more and be out later. And Skylar's mom and dad were more like, nope, after you get out of work, you're coming home. You can see your friends tomorrow. So Rachel and Sheila were doing more shit on the side, and eventually the phones would stop ringing, they would stop inviting Skylar, and Skylar is starting to feel a little bit left out. This is the beginning of the end, y'all. Now, as I'm reading these articles and watching these videos on this case, Skylar gives me the vibes that she needs submissive friends. She needs to be the dominant personality in the relationship. She needs to be able to say, we're doing this tonight, we're going here, you can't him, you can't talk to him, I'm gonna call you at 8, you better pick up at 8 or I'm not speaking to you for a week. She wanted people that would just say yes. That's the vibes I'm getting from Sheila. And Rachel was that person for her. If Sheila said, how high? Rachel is gonna say, as high as you want me to go, girl. And I've had friendships like that. I've been friends with people that are, or try to be dominant personalities. They want you to be submissive. They want you to do whatever they want to do. They want to dog walk all over you. They want to talk down to you. They want to disrespect you. At some point you wake up in the morning, you say, F this. And I think that's what Skylar was starting to do. I think Skylar was starting to have a mouth, and she was starting to stick up for herself, because I guarantee you Sheila was treating Skylar like shit, and because Sheila was treating Skylar like shit, Rachel hopped on that bandwagon because Rachel had some weird obsession with Sheila. And Skylar's like, wait a second. I've known you since we were 8 and you're gonna start treating me like shit now because we have this chick that hangs out with us now? And Sheila probably didn't like the fact that Skylar was talking her shit, sticking up for herself. That's the vibes I'm getting. Comment below if you think that's what happened. In the summer of 2011, the 3 girls are having a sleepover. During the sleepover, Rachel and Sheila take their relationship to the next level. And when I say that, I mean they started doing some lesbian shit. They were hooking up. So if Skylar ever felt like a third wheel, it was at this very moment. She's like, damn, not only have they been leaving me out, but now they started hooking up too. And now I'm really like not in this mix because they got something romantic going along. It's rumored that part of the reason these 2 females killed Skylar was because she was gonna start blabbing to the whole school that they were lesbians, and they didn't want their secret to get out that they were lesbians. And in my mind, I'm like, if you're a lesbian, you're a lesbian. Like, who gives a f if your high school finds out? Like, if y'all are hooking up with each other instead of like whatever f***ing dude at school wants to fool around with you until he gets to college, and when he gets to college he forgets about you and never calls you back, then fool around with each other. Who gives a f? Why is that such a big secret? But I don't know, maybe Rachel was scared because she comes from a Catholic home. I don't know. But some of the theories behind it is they had to kill her because she was gonna blab that they were hooking up with each other, and they didn't want anyone to know. They didn't want to know that they were fooling around in these streets at these slumber parties at 16 years old. And I'm like, who gives a f? Tell the world. Tell the world before she can tell anyone. That's how I see it. Oh shit, you gonna tell people my dirt? All right, let me tell everybody first then. Y'all, I like vagina. Don't kill somebody over it. My God. Days before Skylar went missing, she dropped a couple tweets. She tweeted something like, I'm so sick of being home. Thanks, friends, for hanging out without me. Something like that. And then on the last tweet that she ever sent was, this is why I could never completely trust you. Which is obviously directed at Sheila, who she's known since she was 8 years old, and clearly they have not been getting along and they've been fighting. So there's tension brewing on Twitter. That's funny because tweeting used to be like such a big deal, and like subtweets were like, yeah, I'm talking about you, bitch. And then you read this case and you're like, damn, subtweeting was really a big deal back in the day. I don't really know anyone who subtweets anymore, but I mean, I guess I don't really use Twitter like that to like know if anyone's subtweeting. Like, I don't be really keeping up with anybody's tweets like that. So maybe they are. But then it's like kind of weird when you subtweet and then the people following you don't know who you're subtweeting. So like no one really knows the backdrop and the story of why you're even tweeting that. So unless it's like a fire ass tweet, like some quotable ass, retweetable ass shit, it's like, shut the f up. No one cares about your subtweet. Send them a text, tell them you're pissed.
but the tension started brewing online. On July 5th, 2012, Skylar ended her shift at Wendy's, headed home. She hugged her mom, she hugged her dad, she told them both she loved them, and she headed upstairs to go to bed. Her parents woke up in the morning, they both went to work, early shifts. Her dad came home, walked upstairs, and realized that Skylar's bedroom door was still closed, which he thought was weird. He knocked on her door a couple of times, he said her name, no response. So he opened the door and the bed was made. It did not look like someone had slept in it. He started getting this eerie feeling. He started to get scared. He called his wife Mary. Mary's like, she's not home? What do you mean she's not home? So then he's now getting even more scared. So the next call is Sheila, and Sheila picks up on the first ring. He asks her, do you know where Skylar is? She says no. He then asked her, when's the last time you talked to Skylar? She said, last night, around 11 p.m. or midnight. Her dad, Dave, starts searching her bedroom, and while he's doing this, he notices that her bedroom window is cracked open. The screen was removed, so he's now searching around the room. He finds the screen to her window in her closet. He then goes outside, and he realizes that there's a bench outside of the apartment building that she could have easily climbed onto to get back into her window when she got home from wherever she went. So when her dad realizes that, oh my gosh, she snuck out, he starts freaking out. Mary comes home from work. Dave and Mary are freaking out. The wheels are turning in their mind, and the phone rings. And it's the manager at Wendy's asking if Skylar was coming to her shift. And they both look at each other. They have goosebumps. Their stomach is not, they know, as parents, you know, something is wrong. My daughter would never not go to work. She's an outstanding employee. She's never been late. She's never been a no-show. She's never called out. Something is not right. So his wife advises him to call 911. So he calls 911. They report their daughter missing. Sheila calls Mary, Skylar's mother, and she says, I need to tell you the truth about that night. Mary's like, okay. She's like, we did all hang out, me, Skylar, and Rachel. We went joyriding. We smoked a little weed. We dropped her off at the end of the apartment complex so she wouldn't get caught. We picked her up at 11 p.m. and we were only gone for about an hour or so she would have been home before midnight. She's already lying because later on it would be revealed in surveillance footage from the apartment building that Skylar did not leave her apartment building till 12:30 a.m. in the morning on July 6th. So Sheila's already lying. The first cops that started working on this case saw the surveillance footage and saw Skylar getting into a vehicle willingly at around 12:30 in the morning. Now, I don't know why at the beginning of this investigation, no one knew that this was Sheila's car. They thought it was a stranger's car. They just kept saying a stranger's car, even though it was Sheila's car. But cops said that she got into a car willingly, so they couldn't do an Amber Alert because she left willingly and on her own accord. And they said she probably just ran off with some boy. She'll be back in a couple of days. Don't worry about it. First and foremost, I don't know why in a lot of cases that I'm reading, cops tell moms and dads and whoever that their children probably ran off or ran away or went off with some boy. No, why don't you just do your homework and find out where this fucking underage person has gone instead of telling their parents some false information because you don't really feel like doing some work. It's just like not nice. It's not considerate. It's actually so rude to me that cops would tell two worried parents, she probably ran off with some boy. She'll be back in a couple of days. Excuse me? Please tell me whose car that is. Please tell me what boy she left with. I need to know. Do your job. At this point, Dave and Mary are posting on Facebook. They're asking people for help, any information that could help them find their daughter. She's missing. They're super concerned. They're using social media avenues to obtain any type of information to help them understand where the fuck their daughter went. Because they know their daughter, that she did not run away, and she definitely didn't run away with some boy. And at this point, Sheila, as up as she is acting like a concerned best friend, helping Mary and Dave try to find Skylar, knocking on neighbors' doors, going door to door, asking for any information or any help, knowing damn well she's the one who killed her. Sick bitch. Sick bitch. At this point, Sheila's not a suspect. Rachel's not a suspect. And Skylar's parents absolutely do not suspect Sheila at this point, especially since she's hitting the pavement and helping them figure out where their daughter is. It's not even a thought in their mind in this moment that possibly, just maybe, Sheila did it. On July 7th, Rachel headed to Bible camp, but on July 6th, she was boating with her mother, and her mother noticed a nasty cut on her ankle. Now, the cops are asking Rachel to come in for questioning. She was going to a Catholic summer camp, and so her mother agrees with the cops that Rachel will come in for questioning when she gets back from camp. Cops are asking Rachel and Sheila what happened that night, and their stories are exactly the same. They picked Skylar up around 11, they drove around, they smoked some weed, and they dropped her off before midnight. Less than an hour. And the cops are starting to get really suspicious of the two girls because their stories were verbatim, word for word, exactly the same. And cops think, because of all the experience they've had, that usually when that happens, it's because it's rehearsed. So they've sat down and they've rehearsed with one another what stories they're gonna tell each other, friends and family, and police. So now they're starting to look like suspects. Also, rumors are flying around at school and everywhere that Skylar overdosed on heroin at a party. People freaked out, they got rid of the body. Like, rumors are going around like crazy. Like, people are just basically creating their own narrative to what happened to this poor girl. But cops, they think Sheila and Rachel know a little bit more information than they're letting up. Students at the girls' high school started to suspect that Sheila and Rachel had something to do with Skylar's disappearance. A lot of people overheard Sheila and Rachel talking about ways to dispose of a body, and one student said that she knew that it wasn't just a body they were curious about disposing, it was Skylar's. At one point, in the middle of science class, Rachel blurted out, "We should kill her." Everybody thought it was a joke, but now that Skylar is actually missing, people are starting to look at Sheila and Rachel as suspects. Like, did y'all get rid of this body? Did you kill her? What happened to your quote-unquote best friend Skylar? Y'all did it, didn't you? And high school could be a very, very, very difficult, mean place, especially when rumors start flying around. But when those rumors are actually true, it's even more detrimental. People are gonna come at you, and they're gonna come at you hard. And that's exactly what happened to Rachel and Sheila. Rachel and Sheila planned Skylar's murder for months. Little did Skylar know that that would be the last night she would ever be alive when she snuck out of her bedroom window after telling her mom and dad, "I love you, good night," got in the back seat of Sheila's car, and in Sheila's trunk was the ultimate serial killer kit. Towels, shovels, a change of clothes, and bleach. They also had knives hidden in their sweatshirts and hoodies that they were wearing. These girls are fucking psychopaths. Students started taking to Twitter to make fake accounts and tweet both Rachel and Sheila about how everyone knows that they are the killers, everyone knows that they did this, that they are going to reap what they sow. Rachel starts to crack. She can't take it. The guilt is boiling over. She cannot handle it. The whispers in the hallways, people staring at her like she's a fucking killer because she is in fact a fucking killer. She can't take it. She's this close to snapping and just about to tell the police everything. Meanwhile, Sheila is carefree, acting like life is all good, even tweeting to Skylar like a sick on her birthday, like, "Happy birthday, girl," as if she like gives a that she's missing. It's bizarre. Sheila's behavior is extremely bizarre. I don't understand it, but as Sheila is acting like the world can't be any better, Rachel is on her way to confession. She's about to f***ing crack. On December 28th, 2012, the police received a phone call from Patricia, Rachel's mother, saying that they needed help, they needed assistance. Their daughter is out of control. They can't control her, they can't contain her. She's hitting them, she's angry, she's screaming, she's crying. They need assistance, they need help. And the cops knew if they were gonna get any type of confession, it was gonna be from Rachel. On January 3rd, 2012, Rachel confessed to the murder of Skylar, and the cops were like, "Why?" And her response was simply, "We just didn't like her anymore." Can you f***ing imagine? Can you f***ing imagine saying, "I didn't like her anymore, so I wanted to kill her"? If you don't like someone anymore, stop hanging out with them, stop calling them, stop texting them, stop being their friend. Why the f***? At 16 years old, would you think it's appropriate ever, but especially at that young age, to murder somebody else? How does not liking someone anymore warrant give you the right to take their life? It doesn't. You sick f***. You f***ing sick bitches.
Rachel agreed to take the cops to where they hid the body or concealed the body, and she also gave them a full description of what happened that night. Sheila and Rachel picked up Skylar at around 12:30 on July 6th in Sheila's car. They headed to a town called Brave, which is where they have gone multiple times. They drove there, they would park their car, they'd smoke some weed, they'd drive around. So they tricked Skylar into coming with them, even though they've been shitty friends to her for quite some time. She agrees to go, probably because she's lonely and misses them. She gets in the backseat of the car, not knowing what's in the trunk, not knowing what they have planned to do, and they head to this town called Brave, a spot they have gone to so many times before to do what they have done so many times in the past, and that's smoke weed and have fun with each other. Tonight would be different, and it would also be the last night she'd ever be alive. Sheila and Rachel wore hoodies, even though it was July, the middle of July, and it was super hot out. They were wearing hoodies because they were hiding their knives in their hoodies. You know, if I was there and I was their friend, I would have been like, why the f are you guys wearing hoodies? But I don't think Skylar suspected anything. She was probably just like, oh, if you want to wear a hoodie, wear a hoodie. Me, I'm like, why the f are you wearing a hoodie? It's 950 degrees out. It's hot as why? But Skylar didn't suspect anything. Skylar started walking back to Sheila's car to grab a lighter, and as Rachel and Sheila were behind her, Rachel screamed on 3. And on the count of 3, Rachel and Sheila started stabbing and attacking Skylar from the back. Rachel told the cops that at one point, Skylar almost got away. She grabbed one of the knives and actually slashed Rachel on the back of her ankle, which is why she had a cut when she was boating with her mother on July 6th. But ultimately, they stabbed her in the kneecap so she would slow down and lose her ability to escape. And when you're already weak and you've already been beaten and stabbed multiple times, and especially in your kneecaps, Skylar could not overpower or overcome these blows. These they repeatedly stabbed Skylar over and over and over again, and they eventually stopped and they stood over Skylar's body as she was dying, and the last word she uttered was why. And can you believe the cops asked the same exact question, and the only response she could come up with was because we didn't like her anymore. That poor girl. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine the fear, the pain, her thinking of her mom and dad, her life, the things she could have accomplished or done, the romance, the animals, what she could have done when she packed her bags and got the f out of that small city. And she can't do none of that because she spent years of her life, over 8 years of her life, being friends with this girl who she thought was her best friend, who ultimately hated her and wanted her dead for absolutely no reason. I can't imagine. It's just like so gutting. It's so up. I like literally have no words for it. None. After Skylar was dead, they tried to shovel a gravesite, but there was actually like rocks on the ground. It wasn't working out with their shovel, so they carried her body to a wooded area and they covered it with loose branches from a tree, and then they dipped. Rachel eventually brings them to where the body was at, but it was in the middle of January or early January, and there was snow on the ground, so she couldn't remember the exact location, and also there was snow, so it was hard to see or find any body. So initially at first, cops did not find Skylar's body. A week later, they discovered the remains of Skylar, which was almost unidentifiable because of decomposition, because this murder happened in July. Now it's January, and also because of the weather. There's snow, frozen, it's bad. It's really bad. Cops also put 2 and 2 together because at some point Sheila tweeted, "We really did go on 3." And that was in correlation to when Rachel screamed on 3, and on 3 they stabbed Skylar over and over and over again until she was dead. So she was on Twitter bragging about murdering her best friend, and then also pretending that she missed her best friend, wishing her happy birthday and I miss yous and you sick bitch. You sick bitch. On March 13th, it was finally confirmed that the remains that were found in the wooded area were indeed Skylar's. Cops matched blood samples on the trunk of Sheila's car to Skylar's on May 1st, 2013 in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel after eating there with her mother. She initially pled not guilty, but took a plea deal and pled guilty on all charges for a lesser charge. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole at 15 years.
Sheila Eddy, how do you plead to the offense of murder in the first degree of the felony charged in count 3 of the indictment in this case?
Guilty.
The record will reflect that the defendant has entered a plea of guilty to the offense of murder in the first degree, the felony charged in count 3 of the indictment in this case. You may be seated. Watch the chair, please. Ms. Eddy, have you heard what the prosecutor said the state's evidence would be?
Yes, sir.
Is that substantially correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that what happened?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Eddy, are you entering a plea of guilty to the offense of murder in the first degree, the felony charged in count 3 of this indictment, because you are in fact guilty of this offense?
Yes, sir.
My name is David Neese. I'm Skylar's father. I'm here today with my wife, Mary. The person sitting before you, Skylar's so-called friend, took her away from us without any remorse or feelings. You can look into the eyes of those who are responsible, but you can never hear what they heard as they were taking her life. You can see the faces of the killer, but you can't see Skylar's face. You can never understand the fear that she must have had as they took a knife and ended her life.
Ms. Eddy, would you please stand? Sheila Eddy, for your conviction of the offense of murder in the first degree upon your plea of guilty, it is the sentence of the court that you've been imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. Consistent with the requirements of the Constitution of the United States, that sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.
Skylar's father, Dave, vowed to be at every parole hearing to make sure she never gets out, as she shouldn't, as she fucking shouldn't. I don't care how much you pretend you changed in jail, go fuck yourself, bitch. You made that decision to stab your best friend, whose family and you had her in her life and at her home countless times and countless nights for no fucking reason, because you felt like it, because you're fucked up, because you're sick. Stay in jail for all eternity. Rotten hell, bitch. Rachel got 30 years in prison, which is a lesser charge than Sheila, but I believe that's because she was cooperating and also helped give information that ultimately took down Sheila.
And still to this day, we do not know why they did this. And that is a question we would like an answer to. Because what in the world would be so bad that you would have to kill Skylar and to put her through what you did? You didn't think about that when you were doing it, so why would we need to think about how you feel now? You stood there for over a year, comforting, being with us, telling us you knew nothing. When the police and everybody was coming close, then you decided to confess. You need to think about everything you put us, your family, and everyone else through with not being able to have the pleasures that other kids would have. No grandchildren, no marriages, no prom, no graduation.
Both girls are rotten behind bars at Lacken Correctional Center in West Virginia. Now, there's mugshots of them. They both are kind of smiling. Sheila is full-blown smiling. She got that glittery eyeshadow from Claire's on, thinking she's really doing something. She even curled her hair with whatever curling iron she copped in jail. Both these bitches are ugly as inside and out. I want to punch them both in the face. I think they're disgusting. And the fact that this bitch only got 30 years, so that means she was 16, 30 years, but she's gonna be 46. That's still enough time to get out of jail and, you know, get dick and have a glass of wine. Like, she don't deserve none of that, bro. Sheila, on the other hand, that bitch ain't never getting out. I don't give a f if your parole isn't 15. You ain't never getting out, bitch. You ain't never getting out, bitch. Rachel is eligible for parole in 2024, which is literally 3 years from now. And Sheila is eligible for parole in 2029. Which really ain't that far away either. Now, at the beginning of all this, they were not allowed to do an Amber Alert because Skylar got into a car willingly with people that she knew. And her parents helped pass Skylar's Law, which allows Amber Alerts to be sent on any missing child, whether they got abducted or not. So whether they got into a car willingly or not willingly, Amber Alerts can be sent for underage children. So that was pretty cool. But this story is really disturbing. It's sad. That girl missed out on a a whole lifetime, and her parents will probably never sleep again, and their lives will never be the same ever again. And they probably think every day in their minds, what could I have done differently? What could I have said? How could I have prevented this from happening? And I don't know if there's anything they could have said or done. They did win a lawsuit and won $5 million, so they're good for probably the rest of their lives, but money is never going to bring back someone you love, which is saying might make you live comfortably, but can you ever live comfortably when your daughter got brutally murdered by people you've had in your home? You can't. Anyways, guys, that is today's true crime video. Give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but as I always say, if you're giving it a thumbs down, you probably shouldn't be on this channel. But if you are going to be here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, but also hit the bell, because if you don't hit the bell, you will not get notifications. And if you don't get notifications, what is the point? There is none. Don't forget to subscribe to our wave, ridethewave.com/the_Victor_twins/post. It is the first link in the description box for vlogs, story times, mukbangs, you name it. All of that is on our wave channel. All my social media is also in the description box below. And I'm gonna just go like lay with Gabby and hug my dog Caesar and just be thankful that I got her like a best friend, one that's never gonna do that shit to me, and be thankful that none of these people in my life that had the potential to do some really fucked up shit to me aren't in it anymore, because you just never know, y'all. You gotta be safe. You gotta be smart. You gotta be safe. And that's all I know. So be safe, especially with who you give your heart and your soul to. Friends, lovers, co-workers, anyone. Just be safe. You just never know. I love you guys.